The Reconcile Account feature is located under the Bank Reconciliation module, menu option Reconcile Account, and basically this allows us to reconcile our bank account against our bank statement that the bank sends us. In our instance, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select from the drop-down list Account 5. And I could have also typed that in. One thing to keep in mind is that when we do a bank reconciliation for the first time, we set up our bank account via the bank account setup screen. You're going to enter in your beginning or your opening balance. If you did not do that, your opening balance is going to have a 0 listed here. If that is the case and you need to adjust your balance, you can do a journal entry to bring your balance up, or you could add any new transactions on the bottom which will not affect your general ledger just by clicking new and then going to the bottom and adding the opening items. In our case, we have an opening balance of $63,346, which also matches our ending balance, hence our unreconciled difference is 0. I'm going to take a look at my bank statement because the first thing I want to do is I want to enter in the ending balance date. So ending balance amount rather. And the ending balance in this case is $53,271.59. And then that shows up an unreconciled difference of $10,075.37, which are basically transactions that have cleared the bank. And so the next thing I'll need to do is just make sure that my bank statement cutoff date is the same as my bank statement. So I have that here. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and start checking off all the items that have cleared my bank. Incidentally, when we clearing these items, we can actually sort them a number of different ways to make it easier for us. For doing checks and withdrawals, I would probably want to sort it by check number. Now looking at my bank statement, I see checks from 1003 to 1006 have cleared my bank. So I could use this feature down here called clear from check number to check number, and I'll just go ahead and put in 1003 to 1006, and I'll tell the system to go ahead and clear those guys out for me. I say yes, and then notice it's going to put a check marks in each of the boxes here. Now, I could also do that manually just by taking the mouse and clicking on the checkbox. Notice here that we have the check 1007 listed twice to UPS. That obviously was a check that was issued and then subsequently voided. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click those through. Even though they're not on my bank statement, I just want to get rid of those. They basically cancel each other out. And so those guys are all set. Now for the deposits, I could also do the same thing with deposits by clicking clear, and it would also clear all my deposits. I could say yes, and now all my deposits have been cleared. But let's say I made a mistake and I really didn't want to do that. I can go over here and the clear check, I could take that check off. And then now these buttons over here where it says clear and clear for the checks and deposits will actually say unclear. So I'll go ahead and do that. They say unclear. And now I can click the unclear for the deposits because this says from deposits of 10/21/01 to 12/9/03. I'll just go ahead and click unclear. And now the system will actually unclear those for me. And then I can mark them off individually. Now I'm going to take a look at my bank statement, and I see that this $25 deposit has cleared, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now keep in mind, since I did that unclear, It's actually recalculating my deposits in transit. Now that it's finished, I'll go ahead and click these guys off. Okay, now it's calculating. On the bottom it says calculating, and really it's very instantaneous. You don't need to wait that long to have it calculate. It's just because I'm doing the video. In any event, let's move over to the next item, is this unreconciled difference of 717.12. Now the reason why we have that is because of this deposit right here. This deposit, turns out, was actually from credit cards. And sometimes the credit card deposits don't always clear on the same day because of different merchants have different clearing times, as well as different card, like Amex versus Visa. In this instance, in looking at my bank sheet, I can see that on my bank statement that the amount that has cleared has only been $38.83.40, and I can actually type that in as a cleared amount, $38.83.40, because what happened is that the first day of the clearing was actually the last day of the statement. So in order for this deposit to be completely cleared, it actually takes 2 days, and the second day is carrying over to the next statement. So we're going to have a carry-over amount of whatever the difference is between these two. And now we still have an unreconciled difference of $75, and I didn't put my bank fee in yet of $25. I can put that in. Incidentally, if I want to post this bank fee before reconciling the account, I can do that by clicking this Post Fees button. But then I would not be able to edit it if I do that. So I like to leave it unposted, and the system will post it when I click the Reconcile button. Bank interest, I have no bank interest, so that's going to remain 0. I'm still at $100. Now, if I look over my bank statement, I can see that there's a $100 deposit that we forgot to post, and that is a refund we had gotten from our rental deposit. So what I'm going to do is enter a journal entry by clicking this Enter Journal Entry button right over here, and we'll just click like that. And now this brings me into the Enter Journal Entry screen, and I'm going to put in the date that's going to coincide with my bank statement. I'm going to put rent refund, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the bank account for the $100, and I'm going to credit the rent account. And notice on the bottom it says post and return. It knows that we're from the bank reconciliation screen, and so I click post and return, and we'll say yes, we're ready to post. And if you have any questions about doing journal entries, you can go ahead and look at that respective video clip. And it's asking me whether or not I want to continue to post even though the date is an older date, and I said yes, so that's fine. Now what it's doing, it's updating the general ledger, and it's going to take me back to the bank reconciliation screen with the $100 in my deposit screen. So we're back here, and let's just wait a moment as it's recalculating, and we see the $100. And it still says calculating on the bottom. Okay, our numbers have appeared over here. We can go ahead and check this guy off, the $100, and now our unreconciled difference is now 0. So now we're all set to click Reconcile. And before we do, let me just point out that we do have a Select All and Unselect All. And that basically selects all of them to be cleared, or unselects all of them to be cleared. And if you're doing a bank reconciliation and you notice that you cannot get rid of the unreconciled difference because you have transactions that were not posted to your system, you could just enter them on the blank line over here for deposits, and same thing up on top for checks and withdrawals. You might have to just scroll to the bottom over here, or you can simply click in and then click the new transaction button, and it brings you down to the very bottom. And that's one of the things I had mentioned earlier on in this video. And now also take a note that if you're having trouble, is the cleared transactions up on top. It shows 6 checks withdrawals cleared for totaling the amount of $14,239.33. That should actually match the cleared total on your bank statement. And the number of items as well should also match, and that's an easy way to tell if you're missing an item. Here it says for deposits and debits of $41.88.96, and that too should match your bank statement. I'm going to go ahead and click Reconcile, and the system is suggesting that we print a reconciliation proof before we do the reconciliation, and I'm going to say yes, I want to do that. I go ahead and I click print to the screen so you guys can see it. Normally you would print it to the printer and attach it to your bank statement and then file it. On this report, it's going to show very similar information that we have on our screen, which includes what our opening balance was, what has cleared, any bank fees, our ending balance, and then also shows you deposits in transit, what outstanding checks we have, and then what the difference is, which of course the difference should be 0. And you also get a detail on the deposits in transit and all the outstanding checks. And once that is printed, we can go ahead and close this out and head on back to the bank reconciliation screen, which it brings us back to automatically. And now this time when we click the Reconcile button, the system's going to go ahead and just confirm that we do want to do that. And it wants to post a bank fee, and since the bank fee is posting to an older date, it had me confirm it, make sure I didn't make a mistake on the date. And now this account has been completely reconciled. And that concludes the bank reconciliation feature.